All right, let's move on to habituation and dishabituation. So here's a principle that you've probably encountered almost every day but never really thought about it. So what is habituation? Well, it's a form of learning when you decrease or no longer respond to a repeated stimulus. So in English, what are we talking about here? So this means when you are being hit with a stimulus over and over, and the first few times you encounter that stimulus, you start responding to it like you should. But then over time, you kind of realize, well, this thing keeps coming up. I don't think I need to respond to it every time. So in the world of sensory perception, we try to detect changes in stimulus, not constant stimulus. Okay, so something to remember, it'll come up again, but constant really doesn't require a lot of our attention, as opposed to when things are changing, we move our attention to that. So we say that we stop responding to a stimulus which is no longer biologically relevant. Now, I don't want you to think that that means that it's not important. It just means biologically, in this moment right now, is this really impacting me? Do I need to allocate resources to understand, is this something that I really need to focus on? So, and we're talking about usually a reduction in innate behaviors. So innate behaviors means things that are found from within. So these aren't learned behaviors. These are innate behaviors, meaning nobody really teaches you them. You have them automatically. Now, dishabituation is the opposite of this process when something that you've been previously habituated to is removed. So we'll go through some examples so this makes a little bit more sense for you. So think of you sitting at your desk right now studying for the MCAT, and all of a sudden in your condo building, the alarm goes off. And the alarm goes off and you have to get up and you have to run out of your apartment and you're panicking and you're grabbing your MCAT study notes and you're grabbing your teddy bear and you run outside, all the things that are important to you. And you stand outside in the cold for 20 minutes and you realize it was a false alarm. So you run back in. Then it happens again next week and you run outside again. And this happens over and over and over an extended period of time, weeks, months, whatever you want, but you seem to have to keep getting up and going outside, and every time it's a false alarm. At some point, you're going to say, well, these false alarms keep happening. I'm really not going to respond to this. And you just keep working at your desk because the MCAT exam is coming up. So you're saying, I'm not going to waste another 20 minutes of my life. I'm just going to keep working. Another example might be something much simpler than that, and it's just wearing clothes. Do you ever think of the fact that right now I'm wearing clothes? Hopefully you are wearing clothes, but if you're not watching this video in the nude, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you get up to go to work and you put on your clothes, do you think of the fact that you're feeling clothes on your body? If you're wearing a watch right now, are you thinking of the fact that you're feeling a watch? Probably not, because you've been habituated to the fact that that sensation of having a watch on your hand is there. You don't need to keep telling yourself, watch is there, watch is there, watch is there. You just know it's there. Now, if you were to take off your watch, and then after about a month, put a watch on again for the first time after a month, you might be like, oh yeah, I got a watch on. And you really think about it. You really feel it, okay? If you're away on vacation for a week and the whole week you don't wear a shirt, and then it's time to go back home to your freezing country and you put on your shirt again for the first time, you might notice that, oh yeah, I have a shirt on. We have another example here. If you notice on this graph, we have a snail, and we have the snail being in its shell or out of its shell based on a stimulus. So on the bottom axis, you can see the number of times that a stimulus is given. So it could be you hitting the snail with a hammer on its shell. It could be shocking it. It could be doing anything. And on the other axis, we have the amount of times it actually goes back into its shell. Now, the first time you hit that snail, of course, they're going to withdraw, and it's a reaction. They want to be safe, and so they hide in their warm and cuddly shell. Now, as you continue to do this, the snail realizes this guy that keeps hitting me on my shell with a hammer, he's really not hurting me. He's not doing anything, so why would I run away? And it keeps out of the shell. You can think of a lot of examples like this. If you think of the times you're at the park and there's birds around you versus the time that you go for a nature walk and you're in a forest and there's birds. Now, when you're in the forest, and you have all these birds around you, as you walk, the birds keep a lot of distance and they'll fly away at the first flick of your hand, as opposed to if you're feeding pigeons in a park that are around people all the time and are used to that interaction, they realize that they've been habituated to people. They'll actually come right up to you and almost eat out of your hand, and they're not startled, they're not running away. So these are all examples of habituation and dishabituation.